Hey everybody. My next guest on the show is going to be Negar. She lives in Canada right now. And like I said, I asked people to DM me if they had been affected by the regime in Iran and everything that's ever happened there. So she was one of the guests that want to come on the show. She responded. Without further ado, here she is. How's it going?
How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yep, absolutely. So,
So,
oh, you go ahead.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, so why did you decide that you wanted to come on the show?
Honestly, for the last couple of months, people like Iranian in diaspora promised to ourselves that we will be our people's voice, especially because of the blackout and the situation they're facing. And honestly, the lack of media coverage that's happening over and over. And this time it's so severe. And this is not a first time we are asking people like other countries to help us, and nobody's responding. So this time, as I mentioned it before, I'm mostly camera shy and don't want to like come to the public and say something, but
Yeah.
I promise to be my family's, my friends, my people's voice and echo what they are saying. They're asking for help or basically what they want for our country and make our
Mhm.
country free.
Yeah. So, well, what would you, speaking of that, just starting off, what would you specifically say that they feel like is the most important thing that they want everybody to hear?
What you can hear or see from the videos that it was coming out, they are calling all Prince Reza Pahlavi, or majority of them are calling Prince Reza Pahlavi, since he's the only leader capable and everyone know him, pretty sure that he's Iranian for sure, and he loves Iran. Whatever he plans is for the greater good of people and the country, not for personal gain or anything like that. This is the first thing all of them were chanting. And the second thing is people, like, especially in politics, people want to maneuver around it or say something that we're gonna help you, but let's talk about it, let's negotiate. Honestly, it's military help. Like,
Mhm.
negotiation doesn't work. We tried that since 2009. We showed to the world that we want regime change and we are not capable of doing it. As your other guest, I was watching your Instagram stories, other guests mentioned that we are not allowed to have any sort of weapons, and by nature none of us are violent. None of us learned ever to stand against the animosity or doing so savage. Actually, like when you're watching the videos that like people are attacking those monsters, and the max that they're doing is kicking or punching. They don't even take the guns or anything. So
Mhm.
it shows to the world that people are not capable of fighting with military grade weapons or those monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I notice a lot, really, because I would wonder to myself too, like, why don't they try to pick up their guns and try to fight back with them? But, there's got to be a reason why, like a serious reason. And, yeah, basically what you say about the Shah and everything, that's what I've heard everybody say. I haven't heard anybody that's really actually knows what's going on or is involved in the situation that has ever wanted any other name other than the Shah to return. I've heard, and you get those weird little like trolls or bots out of nowhere that say the MEK and stuff like that, and it's like, no, I don't think so. I haven't heard anybody else say that. But so did you did you immigrate from Iran, or was your family from Iran? You immigrated personally? Um,
I came here like 2019, so I pretty much lived majority of my life back home in Iran.
yeah, really. Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to definitely be a culture shock, huh?
Especially in the beginning, yes. And to be honest, after even 7 years, I still feel like Tehran is my home mm, city rather
Hmm.
than the city that I'm living in. Every street back in Tehran for me has memories and I have connection with it. So when I was watching everything unfolded in all around the country, I was like so devastated for my people. Like I kept remembering what was going on each street and how I have the memory and what it looks like now.
Yeah. And so what was it like growing up inside the Islamic regime?
Honestly, for the last couple of days, I keep looking back and I'm like, I have some significant memories that is directly connected to growing up in Islamic regime and the Sharia law that people in US, in West is starting to advocating for.
Hmm.
Um, but in general, when I'm looking at it, first I want to mention that we were all brainwashed. Like the brainwash machine started on all of us since minimum we were 7, 6 years old. So the first significant thing for me was when I was 6 years old, and my dad made a joke, is small, like said something funny, and then right after that, I was going to kindergarten. So right after he said it, he was like, "Don't repeat it to your friends. Mm, if they hear about it, and they might go tell authorities, so they're gonna come and get your dad, and probably you won't see your dad anymore." And that was the first time for me is that, okay, so people are gonna betray you. The government gonna might kill you or your family just because you said something that even it was funny, you know? And that was the first thing uh, literally connected between the belief in a religion and the government who is like so brutal. Growing up, I personally uh was in the like right after like I was growing up right after the war between Iran and Iraq. Like the bombing was stopped and I was born, so it was aftermath of adopting to a more normal life rather than war situation. But the significant part was morality police that I remember growing up. My brother was at the age that everyone around his age going to the party, and it's illegal having a party, boys and girls in the same place. So they would have attacked the home and capture like everyone. The fines would be whipping like 100 whips or
Yeah.
hefty fines, or probably some people might die under the kicking and like brutal behavior of them. Some kids were so afraid, so they would run away and from like they would have died from jumping from the balcony or the rooftop. And it was so common that you could hear, like, every time my brother wanted to go out to the party, we were like, what if he won't come back? What if
Hmm.
he ends up in jail? It was so common. And the other thing was about fashion. Like, I don't know if I'm using the correct term, but it was Bermuda pants that was like right above your
Yeah, yeah,
ankles.
yeah. Yeah.
It was fashionable and people want to like in Iran wanted to be like on brand and fashion.
Hmm.
So the morality police, that was the beginning of separating police from the morality police. And the morality police would have arrest you, and one of the torture punishment was putting like I've never seen it, but it was a common thing. You could hear it from everyone. One of the ways that they would punish you is to put your that's disgusting, but to put your legs, the girl's legs into a bag of cockroaches. It
Really?
was, yeah, it was like for us who wanted to wear those type of pants, it was so traumatic. It was like a type of standing against it, yet at the same time feared of walking in the streets, you know? Um, I, and one more significant thing when specifically remembered you asked from your other guest. Um, I remember I was 12 years old and me and my family were going to a dinner. Right after we got out of the car, another family came out. The dad was obviously from like those type of monsters. Like it was obvious. And his son was behind him in the street and he literally passed a taser to him and he said, "Take it and use it if you didn't like someone." And I was like, "You're training your teenage boy to use violence if they didn't like the face of someone, or if they didn't like if someone was passing and the way that they were walking wasn't favorable, you know?" So that was the other thing for me. It was like, well, if you're going to the streets and as a person, like living as a woman is hard enough, and then as a person, you should be careful about these crazy people because they've literally been trained to use violence as much as they want, however they want, to whomever they want, actually,
Mm.
you know? Uh, these are just examples. Or like the other days, one of my friends from Austria sent me an Instagram post that it was talking about executing girls and if they're virgins. And fun fact was that Instagram was recognizing the post as a sensitive content, while I can promise you almost every girl in that country, they know this since, like, I personally knew it since I was 9. And um, one thing is growing up with the stress of like morality police or the police itself. Like, even to this day, if I go out and see the police, there would be a little bit of panic and uneasiness about
Hmm.
seeing them. Um, this is one thing. And the rest of it is like economy. Every single day you wake up, you plan for your next month, and the day after you're like, well, those plan doesn't work anymore,
Yeah.
you know? Or when you're going to the university, like they separated you, like they were body search us. Like in one of the universities I was going, they were like, you have to pass the gates. There were people, like women, sitting in front of the gates. Uh, Sometimes they will send you back to home, like 2 hours away, um, because they didn't like the way you dressed. Or like in the schools, if you were like, there were so many unreasonable stuff that at the same time you're like, why do you harass children? Because they're men or like boys or girls. Each of us in our schools, like our schools are separate, right? So uh like when you're talking to girls, they had so many traumatic experiences in schools, in one way, and you're talking to boys, they have another sort of traumatic experiences in their school in another way, you know. Like they're most of the time exposed to violence or disrespect, and this way you're like, if you have like this, like painted your nails, you are kicked out to from school. Or if you're having a cell phone, it was a bad thing. Or like you always had to deal with it and try to survive in such an environment.
Yeah. It's pretty much survival, huh? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
every day to life. That's yeah. I mean, that's really it's hard to imagine, but that's really what it would from the outside looking in. It feels like that's what the Islamic regime is about. It feels like the people there aren't really. It's not really like you. And of course, you have good moments and good memories because everybody does in life. But really, day to day life, it feels like instead of being able to be allowed to live and thrive and enjoy your life, you're just trying not to die over
Yeah.
something stupid. Is that
Yes.
right?
Not specifically dying, but like there is always a question lingering, like, why should I have to live this way? Why should I have to be forced, like, to dress the way that other people choose for me, not myself? You know, why should I have to go out of my home and feel not safe with the authorities rather than like with people? You know, when you're passing by the police, like I personally never had a safe experience with the police, to be honest. Like if something happened to me, I would rather not to call them because they would harass you much worse than whatever happening like in a in the street with other with normal people, you know?
Yeah.
So sorry. Um this is in regard of them, like when we are saying we're separate from the government specifically means that not I'm not saying that everyone who is in the police or maybe in the army or maybe like anywhere, they're
Mhm.
all 100% the same.
Yeah.
Like you have to survive the world, you know, even in
Hmm.
that country. And for that reason, maybe your life brings you in those type of positions. But in general, it's like you always have the feeling of there is an external force for you that you can't breathe easily. You want to thrive, but you're forced to endure.
Yeah. It always feels like there's some sort of pressure there, huh?
Hmm. Yeah.
And so when you were in school, I've heard that they really like super try to super indoctrinate like the minute that you're out of the womb, like super like just pound your brain with like they don't teach history about the Shah or what happened before the revolution in 79 or the history of the Persian Empire. It's more just the history of Muhammad and Islam. And is that true?
Well, I personally always loved the history, and um, at this point, I don't remember which part mostly I've learned, but what I specifically remember is that the main focus, yes, it's after the Islam in Iran. But you learn something like even before the Great Cyrus, what was going on in Iran. You have a brief kind of lessons about this, like where we are coming from, how the human came in Iran and made civilizations, and why the Great Cyrus became the Great Cyrus, and how the empire of Persians uh, was made, like became the empire actually. Uh, these are fairly brief. It's not the main focus. And then even like they tell you why like Muhammad or Arabs came to Iran. Like and it's mind-boggling that people accepted it. It's like
Really?
Iranian opened the doors of the city, welcomed Arabs. They didn't we were the first nation because we were believing one god even before Arabs, right?
Uh-huh.
So we didn't fought with them. We thought that their religion was better than Zoroastrians. But as soon as they came to the cities, they started to uh basically wipe us out. They were like, you're not allowed to speak Farsi or Persian. You have no history. So that kind of brutalization and taking out our identity started from then, you know? But like in the school, the main focus, yes, it's about Islam. And first it was like how it came to Iran and how it became dominant in the entire empire of Persia. Uh and the next focus, which is like the end of the middle school, the main focus of our history is the Islamic Revolution. And yes, they told us that Reza Shah the First, the King Reza the First, he was uneducated, brutal man. He was cruel. He didn't know any better. He was stupid. Why? In actuality, because he didn't let mullahs to have any power. He pushed them away, right? And then they told us that Muhammad Reza Shah was, I mean, the Shah, was unfit to rule the country. He was um, a kind of a puppet from America, and we were giving all the benefits to Americans. So they brainwashed us like that. And even to this day, like so many people you hear that, oh, we don't like Islamic regime, but you hear the same kind of narrative uh, towards Prince Reza Pahlavi. The same narrative that they used to on his father.
Yeah.
And when you hear it, you're like, okay, this is the same brainwash that Islamic regime, our teachers,
Yeah.
used it, you know?
Yeah. So you know where it's coming from, that and maybe they're not even really doing it on purpose, right? It's just that they've heard it so much that they're kind of spouting off what they think
Yeah,
because of what they've been told. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
really
mean,
interesting.
these mullahs are so great on changing the narrative. You see,
Mm.
like, basically gaslighting you.
Hmm.
You're saying, like, look, this is the truth. I'm seeing this. And they're like, no, like, this is the truth, sure, but look at the back of it. You're
Yeah.
like, they make you confused and you see the truth, but the way that they change your mind is like, am I seeing the truth? Or the truth is the lie? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 They almost try to get you to doubt your own grasp on reality, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because I'm glad you brought that up, really, because in the United States of America and in Europe and the West, I mean, you probably know, Canada's like that too. It's becoming more and more. It feels like that. It feels like people gaslight you,
yeah,
like they make you know what you're seeing is one thing, and they're going out of their way, but they act so confident about the fact that you almost start thinking to yourself, is there something I'm not seeing here? But no matter how much you look at it, you're like, no, they're intentionally trying to, I don't know, brainwash you, I guess would be the word. And I
yeah,
see that. And, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because what I hear about, like what you just said about how the Arabs were allowed into the country. They didn't come by force, they were welcomed in. And that's how
yeah,
I seem to hear it all the time with Bridget Gabriel and various other countries that were taken over by radical Islamic regimes. They always seem to say it like that. It was always we let them in because we thought they were friendly and we wanted to be friendly and we wanted to make everybody equal and we wanted to be the good guys and everybody's allowed here. And then they out of nowhere flipped the script and then decided that they were going to start replacing everything that we had and turn it into something else. I didn't know that happened in Iran as well. I wasn't sure exactly how that revolution in 1979 happened. So I'm glad that you said that. And I feel like what they're trying to do in the United States and Canada and Europe as well right now.
Honestly, this is the thing that we Iranians, specifically in diaspora, and Prince Reza Pahlavi keeps saying. It's like what we are fighting is against the death army that we are on the front row. If we collapse, the world will collapse after us. It's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna happen right in the span of the night, but it will happen. Like, okay, this is what I'm seeing in the West really reminds me of one day in my high school. Our religious teacher is mostly appointed by the government, so the brainwash would be more focused on Islam and stuff like that. I specifically remember once she said, "Oh, we should have to wish that the whole world turns into a Muslim world and everyone starts speaking Arabic." We all laughed at her, right? And
Yeah.
then 10 years ago, the guy Soleimani, I think, he said that we will turn um, White House into a Islamic center. And we were
Mm-hmm.
like, what are you saying? And now when you're looking at the world, it's not that far away. Like
No.
you have Muslim congresswomen in your Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when you're looking at Obama, what he did in 2009, after we asked him to help us, he released a fund that belonged to Iranian, to these mullahs. So when you're looking at every terrorist proxies, you're like, okay, they just became a thing right after that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have like if I'm not mistaken, you have Minnesota. The mayor is Muslim, and he
Yeah.
said that if anyone has a problem, go out of this
Yeah.
city. You know, so it's literally the same that happened in Iran. It's like Mamdani is the perfect example. Like Khomeini
Perfect.
said exactly same agenda. Like we're gonna
Really.
make the buses free. Like exactly, it was the same script. Like he used
Wow.
Khomeini's same script.
Wow. It's 1-to-1
And
copy.
exactly. It was like when we were hearing, we were like, why you guys are cheering? This is
Yeah.
scary.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Really.
And yeah, like if you go and I don't know if there is a specific resource for that, but we learned it by default in our school. The promises that Khomeini made before coming to Iran and take the power, I'm talking about the people's perspective.
Yeah.
He promised that, oh, Shah is stealing every money. Like this money has to be like oil money has to be delivered individually to your doorsteps. We're gonna make the bus tickets free so you don't have to pay for the buses. And people didn't know any better. There was no internet. They couldn't like when I'm asking my parents like what was wrong with you? Like Shah was
Mm-hmm.
doing everything. And their answer is like the media wasn't covering Shah's speeches or
Mm-hmm.
what he was doing. And many people were talking about this guy because back in Shah's time, people were more believers in Islam. So the chance that they were going to mosques were much higher. And mullahs in mosques were talking about Khomeini's speeches, like words that he was sending back to Iran. So, like right now, what we are seeing in America, in Canada, specifically in England, like it's scary. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're stepping behind us and you're just following the same path that our
Yeah.
grandparents and parents followed, and you don't even notice it.
Yeah. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
And they don't
And
even notice it. That's the weird part. Yeah.
yeah, like the girl in New York was like, "Oh, they took the business from Jewish people, and maybe one day I'm gonna have a business as a woman, and I can live freely in New York." And I was like, You really think that you're gonna have any right as a woman in New York?
Yeah, it's like you don't know what Sharia law is. Like
Yeah,
they're gonna make you wear a burqa, and you could get killed if you show your hair. Like
yeah.
you're worried
And
about
if
owning a business.
and if even not even the hijab is the secondary matter, like you have a half right as a woman. Like if,
Yeah.
for instance, like I'm pretty sure you know about it. Like, for instance, if you want to be a witness in the court, a woman's word has a half value of a man's word.
Hmm.
Or in inheritance is the same. Or even if you're being killed and the person who has to pay, like there is a kind of a thing in Islam that if by accident you kill someone, you have to pay something. And if the victim was a woman, you can pay half a price of whatever the
Yeah.
money you're. So literally the woman is half of a human in
Hmm.
this concept.
Yeah. And it's obvious too. I mean, just the way when you see them, like you see like a 13-year-old girl that gets raped by a man, and then instead of him getting stoned, they stone her because she tempted him. Like, what is that? That's insanity.
Yeah. And it's like I was thinking about the concept. It's funny, like one of the thing for me when I came to Canada was exactly this thing. If you are like in that concept, in the traditional extremist Islamist kind of a culture, a woman don't have any right. So if you're being abused, it's your fault.
Hmm.
If your husband kick you, almost kill you, it's your fault. Probably you provoked him. And you have no right. You can't go to authorities and say, "Help me. I don't know how to skip."
Yeah.
You know? And even in the uh those cases, if they rape you, you can't go to authorities because your own words doesn't matter. You have to find
Yeah.
two men who actually witnessed the rape and come tell them that yes, this woman was raped. Like, what?
Yeah.
If they
I
witnessed it and
mean,
just watched it?
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's why, like I remember I saw these two girls that were in New York City the day after he won the mayor race, and they're screaming up and down, shouting, "Yes, the Islamic Caliphate's coming to New York City! Woo, yes!" And I'm like, and they're saying our brother in Islam. I'm like, and they're the way they're dressed. I mean, like their hair's all over the place. There's something that's not connecting there. Like it's not gonna. If you made that video and you were already under Sharia law, even though you were for him, you still would have got in trouble just because you made a video while you were dressed like that. Like that's there's no way that they. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's ignorance or if it's
Uh,
brainwashing.
not necessarily. Like these type of, how can I say it? It's like they intentionally plan these images to the society to show that look, it's not all about hijab. We have these type of people. They're getting naked and nobody tells
Uh-huh.
anything to them. They have the freedom. But as soon as they get the majority of the power
Mm-hmm.
of a territory, then everything is different. Then they send the same people outside of their territory to advertise for the same cause, you know? So when you're looking at them, maybe some of them misinformed, but some of them are intentionally, we call them the parastu. It's a kind of a bird, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like um the ideology is going a little bit deep, but anyhow, they're getting paid to be what they are like showing that, oh, they can get naked, oh, they can dress regularly just like me
Hmm.
and you, but they're dying for Islam. Like
Yeah.
the other day, I was watching the video. The girl was like, I think, oh my God, the girls. I was reading Islam and oh my God, it's so beautiful. I think I'm Muslim now. I'm like, if you ever read Islam, you knew that you
Yeah.
could just be Muslim just right away. You didn't need to read about it
Hmm.
or think if you are or not.
Yeah. So yeah, you said that they're getting paid, and I agree. I believe that as well. Obviously, it's like they're subliminal, subverted like agents in a way to try and it's propagandized information. I just, I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't understand why, as a since they're women, it's hard for me to understand why they would know that that's not going to be the reality, but they're still okay with promoting it even though there is just because of money is.
It's for the money and they don't understand the severity of the consequences. To be
Yeah.
honest, when you're like, for instance, I was watching Shah's interview that he was saying people in West, they're telling me mullahs are better than me, while they never dealt with mullahs. I know
uh,
how bad they are, right? And in terms of the whole revolution become successful, some of the people in suit helped Khomeini to become powerful, right? They were getting paid, of course, but they didn't understood the consequences. What happened after that was after the revolution, they wanted something out of that revolution, and Khomeini killed them. So when you literally didn't wouldn't grow up in such a dynamic and see it unfold right in front of you, you can't even comprehend what would be the consequences and how severe and unreversible can be.
they're just useful idiots, right? That's what communism calls people like that. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And that is crazy, man. But like, so like, you know who Goldie Gamari is, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
And she's from Canada as well. And didn't she got kicked out of parliament for being Islamophobic? That's insane.
That's unfortunate. Like I've saved one of her speeches about like Israel and pro-Palestinian movement here, and I'm totally agree with it. Like how like okay, we're raising sun and lion flag everywhere, like in smaller cities everywhere, but at the same time the Canada flag is up, right? They burn Canadian flags. They say
Yeah.
death to Canada in Canadian soil while they're using the benefits of being in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to Eaton Square and they're like, okay, we raise Palestinian flag as the only flag in Eaton Square. And you're like, in a old version of the wars, if you would have conquered a territory, the first thing the winner would have done was raising their flag, showing their
Mm.
own army that we won, and showing
Yeah.
the defeated army that you don't need to fight anymore. You're defeated.
Yeah.
And it's outrageous how people in Canada are so afraid of saying anything.
Yeah.
And
Why?
like, why?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why is it that they're so, because of political correctness and they're afraid to be canceled?
I think after 9/11 and whatever was happening, like generalization about Islam and everything, uh people went the exact opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're so afraid of saying anything
Uh-huh.
or judging something because Well, one thing is that, for instance, before coming to Canada, I didn't know exactly like how Christianity works in outside of Iran. I had Christian friends that their belief is slightly different from majority Christian believers here. So I had to come here, live with Christians, so I learned about them, right? I feel like people are so afraid of saying anything because they're afraid of like judging someone based on the look or lack of knowledge. But there are some severe consequences. Like, you don't need to be afraid because you're gonna offend someone. You're looking at us. You're seeing the consequences of being silent. Or you're seeing the, like, literally when we are asking our parents, why did you do that? Why did you make that revolution happens? And even Shah is saying majority of people stood silent because nobody ever would have imagined that they lose the monarchy.
Hmm.
The concept was so funny and so bizarre that people were
Mm.
like, it's not gonna happen. For sure it's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like
It-
who they were, like those who made the revolution possible. Similar people like pro-Palestinian people right now in the streets,
mhm.
going out, acting crazy, thinking they're so liberal, they know what they want, causing destruction, fear, and for what?
Yeah. It's crazy because like you said, I think it's such a foreign concept to them. They really don't believe that there will ever be a time where someone takes their monarchy or their democracy or whatever it is away from them, which I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me because I don't know. Because you look at the history throughout mankind, and really, I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of knowing history. I don't know. It could be. They just don't know the historical patterns of what happens when tyrants start to take over countries. And I think maybe the education system, maybe in the West here recently, has purposefully dumbed people down and kind of doesn't want them to be able to pick up on the patterns. Do you think that's true?
Honestly, it's like the most thing I've seen in every society, especially in a younger generation. They have no idea about history. Like when
Yeah.
you're asking the simplest question, they have no idea about it.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you read the history, you can, not specifically, but you can at least guess what's gonna happen, you know? So, excuse me. So, for instance, in 2009, so many people went to streets, the Green Revolution. We were the first nation showing, okay, we can use our phone cameras to show the evidence that people are different from the government, that this is the brutality, this is the killing actually happening. That was the first time Islamic regime started to slaughter people in the street, in the public. Sorry.
You did.
And there were still some people uh, didn't do anything. And we needed, like, whoever was in the street needed the unity, needed the whole country to rise up against the government, right? And when you read the history, you realize that that wasn't the good time. That was the beginning of the time. And to me, minimum, like at least for me, what we are going through is so similar for me again to the great French Revolution. It's like started from some people understanding the government is not working, but it took almost 18 years for them to overthrow the government.
Yeah.
And exactly it happened the time when the economy collapsed back then.
Yeah. I've heard other people compare it to the French Revolution too. And the French Revolution was there was a lot of turmoil there. It was like, it was multiple revolutions in one revolution over a span of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost the same, like similar. Like you can call it Green Revolution, and then you have bunch of movements, and then woman life freedom kind of
Yeah.
movement until now.
And yeah, I do think this is the final battle though. I do think like this will be the time because it has to be. I don't see how it could not be. I don't see any other time. It feels like everything is perfectly stormed and lined up on purpose for now to be the time that it gets overthrown. But
Absolutely.
and one thing that I think that I notice a lot about it too is that, like you were saying, where you were talking about if they collapse inside the country, then the whole world collapses. So I feel like what's happening there is absolutely imperative for what happens every single other place in the world. The Middle East and Asia and Europe and America and the whole world is affected by what's going on with the Ayatollah. And how anybody could I don't understand how anybody could think how they can't see the big picture there unless they're on the side of the Islamic regime itself, yeah?
Um, you mean in the politics or like in general between
Just
people?
people.
Honestly, again, like there are so many people. Like for someone as an Iranian, every single day you have to wake up and update yourself about the world. What's going on? So you can make a decision about your future, about your tomorrow, about your moves today, right? But in general, when the people of the world, you are talking to them outside of the Iranian community and those political humanity activists, they don't know. Like, for instance, specifically, I'm talking about 2009 because back then there was like Taliban was defeated, uh, Saddam Hussein was defeated, and they like these two countries were not that significant problem. You had Hezbollah, and they didn't have that huge weaponry power. Hamas was still a terrorist proxy, not a government. They didn't have the specific power. And that was all. But after that, you see Taliban became powerful, Muslim Brotherhood, and so many other proxies raised in Iraq. Houthis became a thing in Yemen. ISIS became a thing. Hamas became so powerful. Hezbollah became so powerful to the point that in 2020, I think, they exploded part of Beirut, unintentionally or intentionally. So you see that how it expands going outwards. It's not like when you read about 1979 revolution, every Western politics were saying, okay, we're going to send mullahs over there. So we're going to have most likely for the purpose of uh, cheap oil or wheat or anything else. And the problem going to be stay there. They never would have guessed that this problem can go out.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's expanding. Right now, they promised that they're gonna make the world Muslim. And now you see it's happening. And the people don't like when you're talking to them, they don't follow the pattern. They don't watch the news every single day. They have no idea. Like they see pro-Palestinian movement and they're like, "Oh, poor people." Yes, they're being killed, children, this and that. Some of them intentionally ignore the rest of the world. They claim that they are humanitarians, but they absolutely don't care about other humans. And they don't even care about Palestinians in Palestine. They just
Yeah.
care about the movement itself,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? But those who are not like black and white, when you're asking them, they don't have any interest. They don't find any benefit to follow the news,
Hmm.
to see the pattern. Like when I'm talking to my friends that they're not like political or they're not Middle Eastern or anything, when I'm telling them the severity of the situation, they're like, "Oh, okay. So hopefully it wouldn't happen to us." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well,
Yeah.
hopefully."
Yeah. I noticed that a lot in life, really. When I talk to that's exactly how it is. And it's very frustrating, really. You're just like, you almost want to punch them across the face sometimes. Like, you guys cannot, you've got to wake up and see what is going on here. So yeah, I totally relate to that's for sure. But what is that though? Why? Because sometimes people try to tell me, well, those people just think differently, and that's just the way that they are. And some people think about stuff. But on the other hand, I feel like there has to be a level of like, you have to know what's going on in the world. If you don't, you're going to pay a price.
They're living in a good life and they think the life gonna stay as the same, you know? It's like, for instance, people in Canada for the last 7 years, they started to complain about inflation. And me as an Iranian, I'm like, yes, the inflation is bad, but you don't know the inflation.
Yeah.
You're complaining about something. Yes, it's not good. That's happening every 2 years. But
Uh-huh.
it's not like in the span of a week.
Uh-huh.
Like you go buy a cup of coffee, $2 this week and $4 next week. This is crazy. This is scary. So when they don't see that much of a change in the long term, they don't look at a bigger picture why the inflation is happening.
Uh-huh.
They only want to blame some specific person. And it's actually working most of the time for
Uh-huh.
political purposes and for those who wants to gain from a chaos. It's most of the time working. And to be honest, I wish I lived in a world that I didn't need to update myself about political stuff,
Yeah.
honestly. Because at some point you're always stressed out.
Mm.
You're like, what happens next? So we need to prevent this, but why nobody's doing anything about it? You know?
Yeah. And how are you supposed to do something about it? Like, because you got to get everybody to understand about it before you could get them to do something about it. And half of them don't want to understand about it, and you could get in this loop if you're not careful. So you do have to be able to not look at it sometimes and make sure that you don't wrap your mind around it so much that you become of no effect because you have like analysis paralysis. But it is definitely way more important to be more informed than less informed. But I think you're right about that though, where it just seems that they have a good life. So it's almost like a plastic bubble. They're just kind of floating on top of the fruits of everybody else's labor, and the only reason they have a good life is because there were a bunch of people before them at some point in time that did pay attention to everything that was going on in the world and had to fight and make sure that they created a place that was not under the influence of tyrants and things like that and gave them the ability to have that life. And
Yeah.
if you lose that information, you're gonna become a victim to it, and that's just the way that it is. But they're like delusional. They just don't understand that could happen. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Uh to be honest, one more thing about like specifically about American continents, both North and South, is that like until World War II, everything was about everywhere else except Australia and America continent, right? Because they were falling away from the main parts. So everyone thought that if something happens, it always happens on those regions, Asia, specifically Middle East and Europe. And many people still to this day think that if something happens, it's gonna happen in Middle East. And Middle East is so far away from me. It's not gonna get to me. So for instance, if it's a missile, it's not gonna come to me or anything else. But they forgot these are like technology improved. And what's baffling for me is that people even forgot 9/11 in America.
Yeah,
Like
that's insane.
everyone forgot. Yeah.
I have
It
no
seems
idea how
like
that's even possible, but yeah. I mean, the fact that you have the mum dummy guy sitting in the office and the mayor is absolute proof of that. I mean, that's what it is. Like, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say about it. Like, it's almost really sad, really, because I saw like a fire truck the other day, and on the side of it, it had the Twin Towers and some firemen, and it said 9/11, never forget. And like me and like the people I know were sitting there looking at it, and we're almost like laughing at it. We're almost like making a joke about it, and it feels it's a strange thing because it's like you never thought that you would laugh at 9/11, and you're not laughing at the tragedy of it, but you're laughing at the fact like, come on now, you don't really believe that. You don't believe in never forget. What are you talking about? You already forgot. Like you got this idiot sitting in the middle of the mayor office and you guys just
yeah.
whatever, just another day. I mean, I was at this restaurant and there's this guy sitting there, and it was like right after he had gotten elected, and he's talking to somebody, and he's like a really political guy. He's like a libertarian or something like that. But I expected to have some kind of common sense, and he's just sitting there, and he comes out with the stupidest answer where he's like, "Well, I don't even know why anybody's worried about him being the mayor. It's not a big deal. I mean, come on, even the people in New York don't care. It's no big deal." I'm like, bro, like it was no big deal when it was in Iraq, and then it was no big deal when it was in Europe, and now it's no big deal when it's in New York City. Like, it's like COVID-19, you know, like it's, what do you have this idea that that's not going to come to your doorstep? It's already in the country. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I keep saying like these monsters are in your backyard. And what, like, honestly, what we experienced for the last month for us was like, yeah, these are bad people, these are crazy people, this and that. But what we've heard from outside of Iran or people who experienced it inside, we were all like, how, like, they're not even human. They're absolutely not even human. They look like human, but they're not human. And is there truly a God here? Like, even the devil falls into his knees and say, these are not with me. Like, don't associate them with me. Like, this is crazy. Like, you have to have a limit even to be a violent person. Even Jeffrey Dahmer had some limits for himself, you know? And when you see this, like, we couldn't even imagine these atrocities could have been possible. And every single day waking up, hearing something new, and like, we didn't even know how to process it emotionally. And still to this day, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I don't know. And we knew what type of people they are. We couldn't guess how severe it could get. And imagine that you like sitting in a secular, fairly peaceful society and telling them like, look, this is so much worse. Like, people are not even capable of looking or hearing what we are experiencing. let alone to understand the severity of the situation and saying, okay, since this is happening back there and they're already in our backyard, probably we should do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, exactly that. Like it's asinine not to do anything about it. It's like the thing going on there. I don't even know what you would. It's definitely monstrous. Like I don't. There's no other word to describe it. It's monstrous. It feels like it's not human. That's what it feels like. Like it's something else, right? Because and at the scale at which they did it too. And I understand, right? Because people say, well, the reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to break the spirit of the revolution, which is obvious, but that doesn't mean anything. It's the point that it was like a switch. Like they just overnight just which means that they were plotting that kind of way of thinking was always theirs. It's a really weird thing. It's a very strange thing. It's very
And
Nazi-esque,
we've
I
heard,
guess.
yeah, we've heard that they planned it even since the previous year, 14-4, 14-1, like it's 2023. The woman life freedom movement, they planned it since then that if there would be another rising, this would be the scale, you know.
Yeah, that's
And
disgusting.
yeah, and like the body bags were pre-ordered. Like it's impossible if they had this much of this amount of body bags. It's
Uh-huh.
impossible because
Yeah.
like even before that, every morgue would have used couple of body bags, not this much. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it was definitely planned. It wasn't something that they would target, oh, because of, I mean, I'm not in the country, to be honest. I just know that from one of my friends' description, uh, they were saying we were just walking, chanting, clapping, and everything was fine. And all of a sudden, it would look like that the Satan's army attacked the city. It was like in the span of a second, everything switched. And the way they described it was like they were between among us. Like from the first noise of the shot, all of a sudden we saw some people pull out the gun and started shooting people. So it was definitely planned and well planned for killing, massacring people.
And and it's also like them going after kids, right? I think that that's really crazy. Like I've heard that they intentionally shoot like 5-year-olds in the back of the head, like miss adults on purpose to shoot the kid in front of the adult so that they'll feel like they need to stop. Like that's insane to me.
Steve, which part of it is not? It's not insane. Like the level of brutality. Like when you're looking at the victims, like there are so many, and each of them are more beautiful than the other one. You feel like they intentionally wanted to kill the beauty,
Uh huh.
and it's like uh, every every sweet, every beautiful thing in any human you can find, they try to target that
Mm.
instead of a life, instead of only a life. It was like I don't know, like the way they killed their
Mm.
targets,
Yeah.
or like I don't know, like any shape or form you're looking at it. It was like they wanted to prove that they're not human. You know, it's
Uh huh. Yeah.
I'm not sure how to describe
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
at some point the brutality is too much that you miss the point. Like, what's the point of killing this amount of people just to make
Yeah.
sure that you prove the point that you're capable of killing this much?
Yeah. That's what it feels like though, doesn't it? It doesn't it's weird because it doesn't just feel like some sort of message. It feels like what you're saying. It's like it's to the point where it's like why even logically that doesn't make any sense. It's like you're just trying to it feels that way. You're going after whatever is good and you're trying to destroy it. It's really strange.
Yeah.
But
It's like, go ahead. Sorry.
no, 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 you go ahead.
There is a voice going around from 3 years ago that someone like from their brains, basically one of the strategies in the government, said that it's better to kill them in the streets rather than like imprisoning them and like starting a court or anything like that. Like it would have less consequences than having them imprisoned and making a case. That's why they're killing this much. It's one thing. But like you can't kill 90 million people.
Yeah.
Although that's their goal look like. Like when you're going to social media, those who had hands, like unfortunately I ended up going to a loophole of those monsters side of the social
Hmm.
media, and they were like, okay, let's say 92 million people Iranian are killed. So what? We should celebrate it. And I was like, it's true. They want to erase Iranian race. So
Hmm.
it's the only thing you can come up with. Like
Yeah.
that would be like when we were talking about Holocaust, it's the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like compare it to Jewish people. I love them dearly and I respect them immensely, but what we experienced, like literally for us, was almost the same. We are standing against the world. We are trying to fight with every sort of uh political aspects, race. Like for the first time, at least for me, Iranian in diaspora, I faced racism. And I was like, why? Like,
Hmm.
who's having problem with Iranians?
Yeah. Like racism recently is what you're saying?
Uh, yes. You know,
During
it's
this
like,
whole thing? The revolution and
uh,
everything?
yeah, yeah. It's like when you're coming out and see that people are celebrating that Iranian are being killed or slaughtered in the most brutal way, and you're
Mm.
like, you're a human.
Uh-huh.
Like one sort of them was pro-Palestinian people.
Yeah.
Like I know specifically someone who's a humanitarian, and when I asked her before, why are you pro-Palestinian? She said that, oh, because I'm humanitarian. The kids are being killed. And I was like, okay, so now you're silent, absolute silent. You told me that they're attacking hospitals. You're seeing it. You're saying that they're being brutal towards women. They're doing it. Like you're saying
Hmm.
that, oh, have you seen the numbers of the dead? Yes, Iranians. Much more than what you had in 2 years. In two days, you had much more than those numbers. Some of them are silent, and some of them are like, oh, that's good. That's not enough. Or there was a Pakistani pro-Palestinian reporter literally said, well, let's say 100K, 100,000 Iranian dead. So what? Move on. I was like, you're a human. Like, as a human, regardless of me being Iranian, how can you even be so cruel to say that it's not important?
Yeah, that's insanity. But what
Yeah.
I don't understand is why it's so weird to me that like the pro-Palestinian crowd is all of a sudden being so because that's how I've seen it too. It's not just some of them are indifferent to it, and some of them almost feel hateful towards it. I don't. What is that about? What? Why? What did Iranians do to the Palestinians?
It's that we didn't do anything. Actually, they stole majority of our money. Like since the first day of the Islamic Revolution, they stole the money. They are receiving the money that was supposed to be for us, spent for the Iranian people. But in actuality, uh, from my own information, like I've heard some other stuff that like from a Iraqi beauty queen that Palestinians are originally from Iraq. But in general, from what I know is that Palestinian originally hate Iranian because we are Iranian and they're Arabs. And we are
Hmm.
more resistant to the Islamic belief, and they're not. And they're forced to accept it or leave it. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But in the war between Iraq and Iran, Palestinians were helping Iraqis to kill Iranian,
Uh-huh.
right? Um, and then right now, the reason they hate the idea of Islamic regime gone is that because their godfather is gonna leave. Like they won't have any funding.
Uh-huh. That's what it feels
Like
like.
like literally they will lose their funds. Like in any shape or form, you if they want to survive, they need Islamic regime. Like if the Islamic regime goes away, you won't like slowly the idea of pro-Palestinian, oh poor Palestinian people, Hamas is good, and oh like all of these propaganda slowly fades away.
Uh-huh.
So they don't want that. Their existence is depend on Islamic regime. This
Yeah.
is one reason they hate us to stand against it.
Yeah. That's crazy. But really, I mean, I wish I could say I'm surprised, but I'm really not that surprised because I'm not really surprised by that because the way I've seen, like, the way the Palestinians treat Jewish people, it doesn't take me for a loop. I know a lot of people that maybe don't pick a side in the Jewish Palestinian world or they don't know a lot about that conflict. They may not see that kind of thing like I have seen it before. So it doesn't shock me. But what it does do is it shines like a big giant spotlight on the fact that there's something wrong with that. If you need to exist or a movement needs to exist, be, to make sure that a whole nother group of people that and there's a whole lot more of those people too has to stay in bondage for you to be able to do what you're doing. That's just strange.
Even it's not just specifically Palestinian. You can say Hamas and Palestinians who support
Yeah.
Hamas. You know, it's because it's logic. Like I'm pretty sure there are Palestinians in Palestine that they look like us. They didn't
Yeah.
want Hamas. They don't support them. And whenever they need to escape, they can't. Hamas entrap them and using them as victims, just like us.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's mostly, I feel like it's the ideology
That's
of
what I'm
spreading.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
not the Palestinians as everyday people, but the ideology that's behind that whole free Palestine front of promote Islam and take over the Middle East is what it actually means.
Yeah. It's like a wolf in the clothes of a sheep. Like
Hmm.
they're saying, oh, look at us. We're so poor. We're so innocent. We're victims. While in the meantime, they're the most ruthless.
Uh-huh.
Like Look, wherever they go, they cause destruction, they cause damage, they cause fear. They're not peaceful people. And inside, like, you signed the treaties, and then all of a sudden you decided to attack. And when Israel fight back, you're like, oh, look at Israel, like they're bad people. Why do they attack us? I'm like, isn't it the logic of every single country? Like, if you
Yeah.
attack them, they're gonna attack you back.
Yeah, exactly. That's just common
So
sense, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it's like, what's wrong with you? You want to be. It falls under the category of being racist. It's like you're so afraid of being called racist, yet at the same time you're a racist.
Yeah.
Like it's it's a religion. And one thing that nobody is talking about is that Islam is literally inspired by Judaism. Like whatever you
Mm-hmm.
find in Islam is coming from Judaism.
Huh. Yeah, nobody wants to talk about that.
No, nobody. It's like Islam is an easier version of Judaism. Like, what's wrong
Yeah.
with you people?
Yeah.
Like,
It found
why
its
do you
roots in Judaism. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's weird. It's like, why do you fight except you won the fight? It's like you're not fighting to find peace. You're fighting because you love the fight. You love the
Hmm.
chaos.
That's really interesting. But it is that way, isn't it?
It is like when you're going to the history of how Islam even formed, you realize it's in the nature of Islam. It's in the nature
Mm-hmm.
of those people who wanted to spread Islam. It's like, well, we are bored. We have to fight. Instead of fighting with each other, let's go and fight with others. And I promise you, if one day, I hope it will never happen, but if one day the world will be conquered by Islam, Muslims start to fight with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no doubt in it. Because this is the nature. To always prove, I mean, it's a, how can I say it? In the way I've learned, I'm born Muslim, right? So, in the way we've been taught from our families who believed in it at some point, it could be beautiful, you know? But there are so many loopholes in Islam that you can use it for your own benefit. And
Yeah.
it's a never ending loophole.
Yeah, that's exactly
So,
what it feels like. A
yeah.
never ending loophole.
And it's like people who are power hungry, that uh they have no skills except being a psychopath. It's so easy for them to use this religion actually and get somewhere. you know it's like,
Mm-hmm.
for me right now, from what I'm seeing, it's the definition of a huge cult.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the leaders are abusing their powers and they change it to their own benefit.
Mm-hmm. It's like there's no real rules because anytime the rules say something else, the rule actually turns into something else. Yeah. Like a cult. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
like,
feel that way as well.
just like any cult, in the beginning it's beautiful, everyone gonna join in it, even like those who are advocating for it right now. Those influencers are saying, oh, I'm reading it, oh, it's so beautiful. Just like that, like in the beginning it's beautiful, sure, but when you go deep down, it's not beautiful anymore. It's all horror. And from the look of it right now, it's the darkness, it never ends. It's like has no limit.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like what's happening in Iran is forcing the world as a whole to be faced with the fact of the big giant elephant in the room that is radical Islam?
Yes. And I always said that the only benefit that these mullahs had for us is that finally, after 1400 years, Iranians realized that Islam wasn't for us. We shouldn't have keep it. We shouldn't have fought for it or defend it at all because it wasn't in our nature to be this ruthless. It wasn't beneficial for us because it always prevent us to get to high points. Like every time in the history of Iran, when you look that there would be a king or someone who wants to make Iran great, there is a propaganda regarding Islam, like Islam and the beliefs, so the regime will collapse and it's changed. This was the main demonstration because any other countries that are fighting against this radicalists usually weren't that much vocal. There are activists going out having their platforms, but there wasn't the demonstration of the people unified outside of the country saying this is happening and trying to take a picture or filming it, sending it out, like forcing other outlets or other people in any other languages to publish it. And I feel like not only we will gonna pass this, get over this type of belief, but also we will show the world that it's okay if you stand against it.
Yeah.
It's mandatory to stand against it.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely see that too in Iran. I see that in the future, once the Ayatollah is completely overthrown and done away with, and justice comes down, however that looks, whether that's like if they have crimes against humanity courts or whatever, or somebody airstrikes them or the people grab them in the streets, I don't know, but whatever it is, once it gets overturned and the Shah returns and Iran turns back into Iran, I feel like that they will be a type of a lighthouse to the rest of the world when it comes to Islam, really.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, 1 second. Honestly, the main reason actually for Iranian is that we weren't like Arabi Saudi, that the majority of people were Muslims. Or if you want to compare Iran to any other Middle Easterns, you can't because we're having multiple people with different languages, with different beliefs, different cultures. Even the traditions are like everywhere you go is different, and we accept each other's differences, different even color skins. So we accepted these differences, and you can't find such a variety in any other countries in the Middle East. So we have 4 seasons every day of the year, and at the same time, multiple people with different cultures, different language, and every difference is accepted. So when you're having that and showing to the world that, listen, Islam is not a point. Like, this is the sample of being secular. You can believe your beliefs, whatever religion you believe in. If you want to even have the religion or not, and have a successful life or country, and you will I think that we will show the world that, okay, this is how it goes. It shouldn't be forced upon anyone. And uh freedom means like you're free to basically practice whatever you want as long as you don't harm a group of people, or even yourself, as long as you're successful, you're understanding, and you're kind to people.
Yeah. I feel like there'll also be a lighthouse in the sense of not just warning the world about what happens if you allow a radical Islamic regime to take over your country, but also, like you said, showing that it's more than okay to stand against it. It's mandatory to stand against it. And I really feel like, I don't know, for whatever reason, that the West has become so far left and politically correct and everything, and they just act whatever that is about. But I feel like Iran, a free Iran, will break that off of the global idea that you have to be so, well, just smile at them while they kill you. You know what I mean? Because the Iranian people went through so much, they went through too much. There's not going to be any of that. Well, we'll just be nice to them now after the fact. That's never going to be there. So
No.
that they'll definitely be, they're not going to be afraid to be bold and brash and say, we are not going to allow this to come in here ever again. Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, it's like at this point, if you're asking, I mean, people in Iran is definitely not even thinking about these type of stuff right now, but it would be the aftermath. But for us in diaspora, if you ask majority of the people what kind of wing you would more leaning towards, it was more liberal and left. It was like more accepted, more open, like whatever. But from what we see from the left and what the left, I mean, the world's left did to the whole society in general, all of us are like, nope, this is not being left. Like, you have to
Yeah.
be tolerated, like, tolerance, sure. You have to accept people's differences, sure, as long as it doesn't harm the society or you or your family.
Yeah. And that should be
It
common
shouldn't,
sense.
exactly. It's like you see with left every single time they have a trend. Like in pandemic, it was like you have to force your children and encourage your children to change their gender. What? Why?
There's no words for it.
Yeah. And like, where's your common sense when your home is in danger? Like, you have so many people, illegal people here, and you're like, how are you letting your children go out and feeling safe about it? And you're advocating for those who might kill your children. And because they
Exactly.
didn't knock to your door doesn't mean that it doesn't happen to you,
Uh-huh.
you know? And it's like, more we look at the whole concept, specifically what left, world's left did to us, and then when we are living in these countries and seeing the left is like absolutely is, I'm so sorry, but useless.
Uh-huh.
Like you see Europe's left wing is like absolutely silent or against doing anything for us.
Mm.
You see liberals in Canada are absolutely silent. They're
Mm.
not even recognize the whole issue.
Mm.
Or in America, I haven't heard anything about left wing, I mean, Democrats. Haven't
Yeah.
heard anything about them, like from them. And when
Mm-mm.
you're looking at it, it's like, well, they're literally cutting off from humanity. It's like, what is the benefit for me? If it has benefit for me, I'm gonna, like address it, or if not, so it's none of my business.
Uh-huh.
Or if I like, for instance, I looked at the report about ICE activities, and I was like, okay, Obama's time, Biden's time, they were more active. So again, left is like playing tricks. Like, why? Why
Mm,
exactly? For what cost? Like, your children is gonna be in danger, not anybody else. And why? You don't have any common sense.
mm.
And those people who are like blindly following it, it's like, what happens to you?
I don't understand that
Honestly.
at all.
Yeah. So, what I'm thinking about the future is that we set the bar, we correct the bar actually, saying, okay, you're allowed to be liberal or Democrat or left as long as you don't harm your societies. Like,
Yeah,
when you harm your society, you have to stand against it. Is the
yeah.
point of being human.
I think that maybe one day in the future, as everything gets corrected, do you think that the far left wing will be seen like the way that like the Nazis are today? I mean, an example of don't go that direction, stay away from that direction.
Probably, but I feel like this something has to happen here. Like, something significant has to fail significantly by the hands of left, so the people realize, okay, to reverse it we go through hell. So this has to be corrected, because the way that they're going, every single time it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
And for what? Like, you're putting our children in danger, and there are some people getting paid to say ignore it. And we will, I mean, what happens with us can prevent the world to collapse into the hands of extremists, because majority of them are getting paid by Islamic regime and their proxies. After there would be no money, slowly everything fades away. Not the idea, of course, but the constant brainwashing of their children, like, wouldn't happen. This is one thing. But the left is like, either the education system has to change so people start reading about the whole world, or about the history, or I feel like something has to fail. Which, honestly, for Canada, I'm so fearful of it. It's like, liberals are dangerously ignorant.
Mm-hmm. I
And
know Trudeau,
like,
he was pretty crazy.
I mean, Mark Carney is something else. At
Yeah,
least Trudeau would have addressed some issues and would
yeah,
have noticed it. This
yeah.
guy completely ignores it.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? What I mean, what is that though? Like, when they kicked Goldie Gamari out of there for Islamophobia, and I'm like, she's Iranian. Like, they have the look at their regime. Like, what do you? But you're, but you don't condemn the Muslims that chant that they're pro that regime. It's insanity, really. It's really crazy.
Yeah. I don't know specifically. The only thing for me is that if you would have said anything negative towards Muslims 20 years ago, you would be praised. Right now, you're kicked out. And the only thing from what we've raised with and what we are seeing about some reports is that they basically infiltrated into the politics of West. So behind the curtains right now, it's not just Christians or, I don't know, like, secular people or Jewish people. It's like extremists behind the curtains now too. So there are some, like, when it comes to money and power, it's not the talk of humanity in logic goes out of the window, you know? So, and they're doing it perfectly. They know that they can infiltrate politics from left wing. It's easy. It's like they're first they buy their compassion and then they pay the bills for them. So after a while, you have all of them being, it's just like a plague. When you come to contact with it, and honestly, we're talking about oil money. We're talking about gas money. And these are not cheap money. These are endless monies, you know? So Qatar, Iran, I mean, Islamic regime, uh, these, like, one of the main reasons Islamic regime's economy collapsed is exactly this. Because they never used the money inside of the country. They always used it to buy weapons, sending it out, or buying people. There are proxies in politics from Islamic regime already in Canada or in uh, America. So when you're having them all, then everyone, like, especially in the politics, you can't stand with someone who everyone is being hated. You know, liberals all hating one person, and uh conservatives are saying, "Oh, well, my position is in danger too, so I'm staying silent." You know, something similar like that. But in general, I don't know what's going on. Like the most surprising for me right now is in England that you actually can't say anything against them. It's illegal. It's
Yeah,
just like so similar to Iran.
yeah,
Like they put you in
that's
jail.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, they've been totally subverted. Like they're like England's not even a place anymore, is it? Like London's not even a place anymore. Like,
No.
and it's to the whole world. Islam number one, but it's everybody else too. Like I read somewhere they said that India now owns more land in the nation of England than England does. Like that's insane. That's insanity. And I'm not even English because I'm like Irish and I come from Irish immigrants and you know a lot of Irish people really despise the English. There's a lot of history there, but you know, I'm like, what are you guys doing? You guys are letting you like your backside get handed to you like for no reason at all except in the name of what? Just being nice to people? Like that's crazy, man. I don't understand that. And I think the head of their national security is a Palestinian woman. And she's in charge of all their national security. Like, what is that? She's the one that's supposed to make sure that there's no radical terrorism that comes to the UK. You can trust that?
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
That's crazy.
It is. It's like, well, just like here, it's like you have so many of the government officials pretending that they're not working with the government anymore and they're living in Canada, like Islamic regime's officials.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this guy is a killer, and Canada gives them the citizenship like chocolate and butter. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on? And when you're basically cross reference it to England, you're like, as far as I remember, British people are so proud of being British.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
I remember they even don't they wanted to separate their children's schools so in order not to have the same accent of immigrants. I specifically remember it since like 2010.
mm,
And I'm like, how did you let that happen?
mm-hmm.
Like you ran away so far enough that you lost the image. Like you're losing your own country and like until where it has to go. You know, every major cities is in the hands of Muslims. And now
Yeah,
the cities,
that's a war. They took you over, is what they did. Yeah,
without any army. This is
that's
what I'm
really
saying.
crazy.
It's like
Yeah, that's what's so
they
insane
didn't
about it.
attack your country literally, but now they're conquering your country.
Hmm. And they
And in
obviously knew that as well. Like that was the whole plan. They're the ones that created the term Islamophobia. They're behind that entire thing.
yeah. And to me, it's like so funny. At least as an Iranian, we are always saying it's a historical background that British people invented mullahs in general. Like there were uh, religious figures who were wearing such outfit, but the concept of mullahs that they have to go and brainwash people is absolutely British. And it was a historical figures that they were actually British pretending to be mullahs, Iranian mullahs. And I'm like, someone in your own political uh, strategy basically invented such a thing. You actually know who they are. And all of a sudden, all of your politicians forgot, like, what kind of monsters did you make?
Yeah, really.
You know, it's like, it's in kind of Marvel movies when you're seeing the villain making a monster and the monster becoming so big that swallow the whole like
Mm.
the creator itself is just the same. It's like they created a monster that at some point it got so big that now it swallows everything and everyone.
Yeah, you feel like that's what it is, huh? That they just accidentally lost control of that and now they're paying the price for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Mm.
or maybe they forgot like how
Or they're
like a
stupid. Yeah.
logical yeah, a logical person is like, for instance, if me and you are enemies and our children knows that we are enemies, at some point maybe our children become friends, but we always remember that we were enemies,
Uh-huh.
right? It's not like we forget and say, not like there was no past, everything was fine, even our parents were good together,
Yeah.
like that's fine. It's like no, there is enemy, there is animosity, like there is something in between. So you unconsciously always be cautious about like interacting with that person.
Mm.
And like when you know the severity of the whole situation, the the craziness of the concept of mullahs, like they always lie, they don't want, like basically they're a proxy who controls something that you don't want to happen in the society, like literally. Like for instance, one of the thing was happening was about sugar. So there was a contract between two countries and England didn't want it, so mullahs started to say, oh, it's haram to eat sugar. And when like British people were like, "Oh, that's fine. Now we are gaining something out of it, so it's fine for people to have it." And they were like, "Oh, so you have to eat it with you have to have it with tea." Like that's the concept of them. And how is it possible for you to forget it?
Yeah.
The nature of them.
Yeah.
Like
I don't, there's
nobody's
no
asking you
way.
to, yeah, nobody's asking you to uh for like treat them poorly, but like how on earth you forgot the nature of them, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's like how you forgot and let them to, they conquered Middle East. How did you let them to come to your own home?
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's baffling for me. It's like,
It's baffling.
well, yeah. That's why when Prince Reza Pahlavi or us are keep saying, listen, if we fall, the whole world gonna fall. Because first, you show these people that if you kill enough, you can stay on power. And like they already conquered so many places without any war. And when you want to kick them out, there is no way they're gonna start killing.
Mm.
And other than that, it's they have the money if they stay in power. So they still can buy more lands, more people, more hidden weapons, build more, I don't know, underground stuff. So at some point when you want to fight with them, it's like a cancer. Which part of the world you want to fight? Start to fight. You know?
Because they're all over the place now.
Yeah.
They're in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? That's a good way to look at that, actually. Because if you don't overthrow the Ayatollah, then it's like, well, Europe's already been subverted and London's already fallen, really, if you're being honest
Mm-hmm.
about it. And they're in Australia and they're in Canada and they're in the USA because New York is gone right now. So if you're not willing to go to the headline base of where it is the most obvious that these people are the most radical, the definition of radical Islam in the entire world, the radical Islamic headquarters in Iran and the regime there. If you're not able to stand up to those people and say enough is enough and throw those people down from that tower, then you're not going to go anywhere and do it anywhere. They're just going to rule over everybody.
Yeah. And it's like
Mm.
it's impossible to throw them out. Okay, listen. We have one thing in Persian that was that when mullahs hop onto a monkey, either the monkey has to keep going or has to fall dead in order to mullah comes out like get off the donkey, you know?
Uh-huh.
So what it means is that when they have the control of something, they won't let it go unless it's
Mm.
destroyed.
Mm.
So like it was so much easier to fight with them in 2009. It was so much easier
Mm.
to fight with them in 2001. Like honestly, as a what like 9, 10 years old kid, when America attacked Afghanistan and Iraq, I was like, why don't they attack here? Like they're here.
Mm.
The head
Yeah.
of them is here.
Uh-huh.
It was so much easier to take them out. It wasn't complex. They didn't have that much weaponry. They didn't have the technology. They didn't send they didn't already have the scientists who was able to create bombs. Right now they have them. And
Mm.
there are pathways underneath of the entire country. The
Mm.
same way as Hamas made it underneath of Palestine.
Mm.
So it's not like the war on the ground, it's the war under the ground, which
Mm.
probably not all of them are known for like America.
Mm-hmm.
So every single time they don't attack, they don't attempt to overthrow them, it would be much harder and it would be much more impossible to take them out.
The next time
Like
around.
yeah, like for instance, when in 2009, again going back to Obama's time, I have like the only thing for me for about him is that he wanted this to make them powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That was why he made a deal with them. Why
Yeah.
we as people were asking to come behind us and support
Mm.
us.
Mm.
And back then, if he would have fight with them military wise, he only would have had Hashtag like Iraqi militia and probably some Taliban or Hamas or Hezbollah. Like that was the only thing. And even Hezbollah wasn't that powerful or Hamas wasn't that powerful. right now, there are just, to name the few, like there are so many other of
Mm.
them all around the world that
Mm.
if they want to, like I understand at some point why Trump is not, like, hasn't attacked yet, is that, well, he can't attack directly because there are so many other stuff all around the world that he might be blindsided.
You think that has something to do with it a little bit?
Yeah,
He's making sure
absolutely.
that there's not some sort of way that they could come at you that you don't know about because they've been able to root into so many different places.
Yeah. Like,
Mm.
listen, ISIS is ruthless, and they
Mm.
prove that they won't leave if, like, if they conquer somewhere. And right, like right next to it, you have Hezbollah. Right next to it, you have Hamas. Like, these are the proxies that work separately, as long as it's somewhere outside of Iran. And this is one reason Iran kept all of these proxies all around Iran, is that
Mm.
if one day
Huh.
there would be attempt to Islamic regime, these groups would be active.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like,
Mm.
okay, it's like 2009 was so much easier. These groups were less powerful, the numbers were less, you wouldn't be blindsided. But right now, like, you have to take control of all of them first and ask the governments to take, like, control them first and then attack Iran.
Mm.
This is the way
Yeah.
I'm looking at it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I never totally looked at it that way. I had like thoughts here and there about it, but now that you're explaining that more out openly and often like that, I could see that. Like, that makes a lot of sense, really.
yeah,
That would
it
explain why
that
he's talking to China on the phone and why he's trying to get the EU to diagnose them as a terrorist organization and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, it's like, why do you think that we didn't only have Iranian to attack people? We had people like monsters from Iraq. We have monsters from Hezbollah. We had monsters from Afghanistan. Like, these were the killers of Iranian, other than the monsters in Iran itself. So imagine if there would be a war, like military war in any shape or form, obviously they would be uh, there to fight against whoever wants to take Islamic regime.
That's really interesting. It's like an octopus with a bunch of tentacles.
Yeah,
Hmm. Because yeah, because I guess you have to see it that way too, because it's not like the Ayatollah is really all that separated from any other radical Islamic regime. They really operate as a movement. They're a nation that goes across many borders.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
the thing is, it's like the heads of the whole groups. They're a bunch of useless monsters who only wants power and money, and you're looking at their children. They're living lavishly in all around the world, like nothing comparing to what their fathers are preaching or their mothers are preaching. None of them. And the idea the idea of spreading Islam is for me and you, for normal people who think that they have to have a purpose. And since they're believing in one religion, this religion has to have a purpose. And what better way to make them go around and make the world Muslim? Some with influencers paying money, and some with forces, some with kidnapping, just like that.
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah,
You just have different departments that do different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention when you pointed out about MEK, they're literally a cult with uh Islamic belief, extremist, and they have weapon in their own hands. Already crazy. To be honest, it's like they kidnap people and convert them into MEK. So,
Mm.
and there are so many. Like they don't look like it, but there are so many. And if they're not the member of it, they pay like uh I don't remember who I saw, but there was a guy from the previous cabinet uh administration that they paid to him for uh to go to the compound and make his speech, and we were like, a senator got paid to go back to MEK and give a speech. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I saw that happen a few times actually.
Yeah.
What
And
is
it's
that?
like, it's a cult. It's the actual cult. Like, when you're looking at,
That's what
there
I've
are
heard.
some
I've heard
videos.
other people say that too. Like a literal
Yeah.
cult.
Yeah.
Like they're very
They all,
strange people.
yeah. And they help Khomeini to overthrow Shah. I mean, you never can say overthrow Shah. Like, Shah left to negotiate with Carter. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a defeat. It was like
Hmm.
leaving the country to negotiate with it and warn Carter that, listen, these people are crazy. Don't do that.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to kill my people. And MEK helped them, help Khomeini actually,
Hmm.
because they were the only people back then that they had weapons, and Shah didn't want bloodshed.
Hmm.
So he didn't allow the army to do anything. Instead, MEK started to killing people and said, "Oh, Shah did it."
Hmm.
This is this is one of the brainwash that they teach you in the school, that Shah killed people, which in
Really?
reality it was MEK killed people and blamed Shah. Yeah,
Hmm. That's interesting because I just started learning about the MEK, and like now I'm hearing it pop up more and more all over the place, and I like learning the history. That's really interesting to me. I know they're like communistic, aren't they?
they are. Their major goal is, like, whatever they chanted from the beginning was overthrowing monarchy in Iran and then destroying America. That's their entire goal.
Hmm.
And how you looking at it is so similar to Scientology. It's like they're
Hmm.
very strict. They are like uh I'm gonna send you a video afterwards to a little bit explain what's going on.
Yeah.
But they're all wearing the same thing. They are living in a compound. The head of them, like the main MEKs, are living in compounds. Some of them are going out just like missionaries and trying to convert people into MEK. Just like Islam, they're showing the green door, like beautiful door, and as soon
Hmm.
as you enter it, it's horrifying. Uh, the part that we Iranian are really against, we're saying we don't like mullahs, we don't like lefties, and we don't like MEK, like death to these three categories, is
Uh-huh.
that because all three of them together caused the Islamic Revolution.
Hmm.
And every single time, each of them betrayed the people of Iran.
Hmm.
The head of them, like the face of it, was mullahs, obviously the most brutal one. But for instance, MEK wanted, the head of the MEK helped Khomeini, and then after Khomeini became powerful, he started to slaughter most of them. So they ran away to Iraq, And then in the war between Iran and Iraq, they help Iraqis to kill Iranian, right?
Yeah.
And then every now and then they're still trying to look away to find some sort of power in Iran. They were like, Khomeini owed to us to give us some power, and instead he killed us. So this time we're gonna try to find a way to gain it ourselves.
Mm.
That's why Iranians most of the time talk about them, because
Yeah.
every now and then they try to steal something from us and claim it's theirs.
And they're Islamic too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they mixed Islam with some other kind of like cult belief system and mixed it with communism.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really weird.
Yeah.
And the head
Uh,
of them is now some woman now, isn't it?
Yeah. And the history between her husbands are funny. Like interesting.
Yeah, I think I heard
Like
someone say that too.
yeah. Well, these are the history that you never learn it in the school. It's like when slowly you start to enter to the society and asking a question. So, why is it that? Then if this is the case, why they told me this back in school? And slowly you realize that almost 95% of what you've learned in the school was a lie. Or like I remember the in the beginning of the whole chaos this month, Patrick whatever, the guy who's Iranian and he has a platform, uh he mentioned that Cinema Rex, like Shah burned like Cinema Rex with people inside of it. And I was like, you don't know that. Like even mullahs
Mhm.
came out and said, yes, we did it, and then we blamed Shah. And you still are where?
Yeah.
Like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and believing that Shah did it? Like there are so many when you're looking Iranian history specifically for the last 50 years, uh you hear stuff that you have to fact check it. You can't
Mm,
say, okay, because this person said it and he has the biggest platform, it's true.
mm, yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Yeah. So this is the fight we have. Like first up, it's like getting rid of these mullahs, and I'm hoping America solve whatever is happening right now. It's complex, absolutely. Like I would have never guessed the scale of it, right?
Hmm.
But I'm absolutely sure there are many people skilled enough to understand everything and they can come up with a resolution because there are so many people still in the prison, not specifically prison, imprisoned by the government, that they're going through hell. Like,
Mm,
I can't even imagine. Like, it got to the point that I said, whoever died in the first 2 days, they were the lucky ones.
mm,
Whoever are imprisoned are going through hell, like, beyond what anyone can comprehend.
yeah.
Especially women. I don't know.
Mm,
Like, I can't say women or men. Both of them, both of like men and women, both sides are so innocent. And the severity of the part is that the women torturers are the most brutal, you
hmm.
know. I don't know if you ever heard of the whole situation in among the prisoners.
I don't know. Maybe. What is it?
Uh, like the girl was describing how she was being tortured, and the woman who was basically torturing her was literally unleashing the rapist onto her, like she was being like group raped, uh like gang raped.
Yeah.
And there was a hanging rope in the corner of the room, and every single time she wanted to stimulate the whole feeling of hanging, this is one thing. And when you hear that the girls is like, please bring us the pill, like we don't know if we're getting pregnant or not, it's it's like, why?
Yeah. Just pure evil.
Yeah. Or I don't know, I seriously, I don't know if uh your audience like would be capable of hearing it, like this stuff, organ harvesting, or everything
Yeah,
else.
no. I've talked about that before. A lot of that stuff. Yeah, I keep it pretty transparent because you have to know what's going on there. Because if people don't realize how deep it is there, they're not gonna understand why it's you have to get rid of the Ayatollah like today.
Yeah, it's it. I wish people had a kind of a picture, or could have tolerated to listen what we're going through.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what how I describe it is like, I never was a fan of scary movies, but one of the most disgusting ones is Saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's graphic, it's uh full of blood, it's not nice. I always describe it as if you make a horror movie 10 times worse than Saw, and we Iranian in diaspora are forced to watch it. And then in the first 5 minutes of the movie, they tell us, listen, this is life, and the people inside who are playing it are your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you want to do something, and at the same time, there is a guilt saying, mentally, I'm not capable of watching it, but my
Mm-hmm.
people went through it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not allowed to say I can't. I have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, there is an urgency of like, what we can do. Like, let's do something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's help them.
Mm-hmm.
Because those who are gone, yes, it's absolutely brutal, but the families, those who've seen it, those who've been imprisoned, these are the people that this scale of the war crime is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's absolutely real. It's like, it's not just killing itself, it's the aftermath
Mm.
of who's remaining and who's witnessing it and try to leave through it. And
Yeah.
from what I see is like, they want to pass through it, yet they all going through uh nightmares, and at the same time they're like, how am I supposed to pass through it when my best friend is gone?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's like a psychological warfare, really. They're
Yeah.
trying to they're trying to fry people's ability to deal with the situation.
Yeah, it's like, and the most devastating part was the day when the internet came back. So apparently, like, nobody's talking about anything, mainly like 99%. But what they all were saying is that we thought we were the only like people who experienced this brutal. We didn't know that it was happening all around the country. We
Hmm.
didn't know that it was happening the street like a block away, you know. They all thought that whatever is happening is in that specific spot,
Hmm.
but all of a sudden when internet came back, they're all like, "What? What happened?" Like all around the country.
It
And
was
that was,
federally planned. Yeah.
yeah, and that was another blow to them.
You think that's why they put the internet back on like that?
No, it wasn't for that. It was
Mhm.
like there are the biggest Bitcoin farms in Iran. That's the reason there are power shortage and water shortage in Iran. Like one of my friends was in that type of business around 12 years ago. He said that it's going to happen very soon. And it's been happening for the last 4 years. The reason they brought back the internet was basically purely for their own benefit. If they could, they wouldn't do it
They
because they
brought it
weren't
back just
expecting.
to farm the Bitcoin.
That was the one of their main, because the big like the major farms for Russia, IRGC, and China is in Iran.
Hmm. So China and Russia have Bitcoin farms inside Iran?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. They have like there are the biggest farms of these three, basically IRGC, China, and Russia are in Iran. That's why like Iran had a huge resource of electricity or water and everything, at least for the next 10 years. But the reason that all of a sudden everything is gone is because they have the biggest farms over there. And they're providing, like, they're specifically using it for those farms. That's one of the major reasons they brought back the internet. If they could, they would have let it be for longer, you know?
Yeah. I didn't know. I knew China and Russia, they really have a hold on Iran and they use them as a front to do a lot of things. And I know with the oil and various other things, I didn't know about the Bitcoin farming too, though. That's really interesting. It
Yeah.
seemed like the Ayatollah was a slave to Russia and China, yeah.
They don't have any kind of, I don't know. It's like it has their own, it has its own benefits for them. It's like
Mm-hmm.
give me the money and get whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they're sending water to Kuwait, one of the biggest uh water pipes is literally going towards Kuwait, and the people of the same city, the same area, is like suffering from lack of water. Or
Yeah.
they're sending the soil of Iran to somewhere else, while it causes huge and unreversible damage to ecosystem of that area. They're selling everything just for the sake of money. Well, the biggest buyer is Russia and China. It doesn't mean that there are no other parties here.
Mm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, do you think that that might be some of the reason why Trump is taking so long to go to Iran too? Do you think that he's trying to sever the ties that Russia and China have inside of there first before he does something?
Honestly, history proved that if China and Russia sense danger, they won't even bother.
What do you
So
mean?
it's like if they see the if they see that there are more benefits in stepping aside, they will do that, you
Mm.
know? So in some ways I feel like Trump is trying to convince them, listen, like if you step aside and don't do anything, that would be more beneficial for you because like the consequences of not doing it, it's like more severe,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the same way that he did it with France, the same way that he did it with other places, like other countries or other politicians, that those who were standing against it, now they're like, maybe, sure, go ahead, like we don't do anything, you know. Or last night I've heard that Lebanon is trying to contain Hezbollah in case they wanted to help Iran. So um I feel like he's trying to talk to everyone
Mm-hmm.
so they would step aside, don't do anything, and convince them that there are benefits for them in case that he wants to attack Iran. Which so many people like, there is a stupid thing going around that, oh, you think that America wants to attack you because they want to do it for you guys? No, no. We absolutely know he doesn't want to. Like, and if you're talking about oil money, I, as an Iranian, personally rather to give it for half a price to Trump and to America in order to get back my country. My country has so much more resources that we can rebuild it and revive it if we have our country back. So if Trump wants to attack and take the government out, like Islamic regime out, in order for the oil, let's do it. Like right now, you know?
Do you feel like I know that I know that Iran supplies, well, China buys almost 90% of all their oil.
Because of
And I know
sanctions.
that Venezuela, they bought like 70% of Venezuela's oil. And they get over half their oil combined from Venezuela and Iran. And now that Venezuela is out of the way, if the Ayatollah were to fall, China would lose half of its oil supply. And they wouldn't be able to go to war with Taiwan and various places like that. And I think that's one of the strategic points that Donald Trump looks at when he sees Iran. And for the same for Russia, because they wouldn't be able to back up Russia against the Ukraine and stuff like that. So I could see that from a like a world geopolitical basis for sure. But on top of that, it's everything else too. It's the Islam, it's the radical terrorism in the Middle East, it's everything. I don't To me, I don't see, it doesn't make any sense. I don't see what anybody would benefit in the world from the Ayatollah not being removed from there. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No. It's like there is a argue. Sorry. There is a argue saying that like uh, you can see it in a way that, okay, Trump is don't want to spend a lot of money or lose a lot of money to attack them. And it's fair because it's war, but in any shape or form. But first of all, he's spent a lot of money already. And besides, in a term, there are so much more benefit. Safer world, there would be a lot of economy movement. The uh, like the money moves around this time. It's not just blocked in one side of the world and fight with another side of the world. It moves around, comes and goes. So there would be a new life in the economy while you don't have to deal with the proxies anymore. Like when you take the Islamic regime out, slowly the funding from the rest of them, even Taliban or Hamas or Hezbollah or Houthis, like, or ISIS. Like, America has spent a little bit of money on Syria, and now again, ISIS is causing the problem over and over. So when you take them out, you don't need to spend a lot of money on the rest of majority of Middle Eastern places and keep the whole area safe, you know? So I think in the long run, so many people are saying that there's no benefit, but I agree with you. Like, Trump would have so much more benefit of attacking rather than not attacking.
Well, I guess we've gone pretty long, haven't we? We've gone
Yeah.
almost 2.5 hours or so. And I think I'm starting to run out of battery over here, so I guess I'm going to have to wind it down. But it's been a great conversation, though. I really enjoyed it very much. It was great. Um, Hopefully we could do it again sometime. You come on the show sometime and we'll continue to talk because I learned a lot of stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff there that I learned that I didn't know. I was taught a lot. I loved it. But I was gonna say before you go, if there's anything that you want to say to anybody about the situation or anything that you would want anybody to know.
Honestly, it's like, to the world, to the people who are not Persian or Iranian, or they're not in the community, it's like, if you help us, your children gonna have a better life and safer world. So it doesn't matter if you're from the same nationality or you speak our language. What we are doing is the fight for the world, not only for us. It's the future. It like, I forgot the word, but for sure it's for the future and for the freedom. So join us, specifically if you're in the cities near like Los Angeles, Toronto, or in Europe, wherever you see that we are gathering, join us. It's not just about Iranian. It's the uh, talk about freedom and better world. So if you support us, basically you support everyone.
I agree with
And
that 100% for real.
thank you for your time and having me in your show.
Yeah, it was awesome. I hope you can you still hear me?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. I hope that you come back on the show. I learned a lot. It was really good. I feel like I could have talked for another hour. It was just the time was starting to get away.
It was my pleasure. I'd love to anytime.
Awesome. Um, um, I'm gonna end it real quick. So yeah, let me just